Welcome to WNL Sports Weekly. I'm Jeremy Franklin. This week we'll speak with men's cross country coach John Tucker, women's soccer senior Hannah Sackfield, and men's soccer captain Conor Starr. But first, a quick look back at the weekend in Washington and Lee athletics. The football team took over sole possession of first place in the Old Dominion Athletic Conference with a 49-14 victory over Randolph-Macon at Wilson Field. Also in Lexington, both soccer teams scored 2-1 overtime wins as the men knocked off the Yellow Jackets and the women defeated St. Mary's. At the ITA National Small College Women's Tennis Championships in Mobile, Claire Cahill and Megan Buell finished as runners-up in doubles, with Buell placing fourth in the singles competition. Volleyball went 3-0 in the Rhodes Fall Break Classic, improving to 18-7 on the season. Women's cross country finished second at Christopher Newport, while the men came in fifth at the DeSales Invitational. The swimming teams opened up their season in Louisville, with both the men and women beating Center and falling to DePaul. And women's golf placed 12th at Wittenberg's Pat Klaus Invitational. I'm now joined by men's cross country coach John Tucker. John, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me.
WNL was picked 7th in the ODAC preseason coaches poll, but your team has had some great performances throughout the year. Was that low pick a motivating factor in how your team has come out this season?
I don't think so. I think those preseason polls are really just almost a copy and paste of the previous season's results. So I don't think there's too much known at that point, but I think our guys are pretty motivated. I'm not sure if it was the preseason poll or not, but we're glad to see that.
Your team finished 5th at DeSales this past weekend. What did that race tell you about your team?
Well, DeSales basically showed us what we already knew, which was our guys have been working very hard all summer and all season and improving almost from top to bottom. We're seeing guys run lifetime best performances and certainly season best performances from virtually all the guys. So it wasn't a surprise. I'm very glad to see it, and I know the guys they have a sense that things are moving in the right direction.
Your team has already run twice at Peakview Farms, which is where the ODAC Championship will take place on October 27th. Tell us about the course.
Well, we've run at Peakview several times. You recall that ODAC's was held there at least two previous times, and I believe WNL won both of those. This year, it's exactly the same course. We have raced on it twice before, as you mentioned, and we're going to go practice on it again this Saturday. So we hope to be well prepared on that course, and it's an exciting time for our guys. We're anticipating some good things.
What are the expectations that you have for WNL in the postseason?
Well, my expectations are what they are, but I think the most important expectations are the ones that the guys have of themselves. And I think we're seeing that come to pass. We're having great leadership from our captains. We're seeing great leadership from our captains. And from all of our guys, as I mentioned, everybody seems to be running their best ever. So if we all run our best races at the same time at ODACs, we're going to see, I think there's a sense on the team, we're going to see substantial improvement from last year. And if that's the case, then we'll go down and see what we can do in the region and may see the same kind of results.
John, as always, thanks for being here. Good luck in the ODAC Championship next weekend.
Thanks, Jeremy.
With me now is Conor Starr, senior men's soccer captain from Summit, New Jersey. Conor, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
WNL's having a great season. You're in first place in the conference with 3 games to go. You've got the #1 scoring defense in the ODAC. You're second in goals scored. How has everything fallen into place for the Generals this year?
You know, I think at the beginning of this year, we realized that we have a special group of guys on the team. We have a strong senior class that's been leading the way, and we have some very talented underclassmen that have been contributing to our success. I just think we realized that we have an opportunity to go all the way this year, and it's been inspiring our team to find ways to win games.
You had a pretty devastating loss in non-conference play to Ferrum at the end of September. A couple of late goals as the Panthers came from behind to win. It was the kind of game that I think could derail many a team's season. Mm-hmm. Since then, you're 4-0-1. How have you been able to bounce back from that game?
You know, I think that game was really a blessing in disguise for our team. Since that game, we've realized that we can never be complacent with a small lead, and that we need to play a full 90 minutes. Since that game, the game after that, we played Bridgewater College, who was undefeated in first place at the time. We came up and beat them 3-0. And I think without that loss against Ferrum, I don't know that we would have won that game in the way that we did. So I think since that game, we've been rallying. And like I said, I think it was a real blessing for our team.
Last Wednesday's victory over Emory and Henry was the 300th win of Rolf Peranian's career. What was it like to be a part of that milestone?
You know, that was a real special day for our team, especially our seniors. Rolf's a real humble guy, and while he doesn't like to talk about statistics much, that was a very impressive win. 300's, you know, a very impressive milestone. We were grateful to just have been a part of that moment with him.
You still have 3 very tough ODAC games to go as you fight to keep that #1 seed. What will the Generals need to do to come out on top?
You know, I think what's really important is to take each game one at a time, not to get ahead of ourselves. Each point is, you know, live or die for our team. And we have 3, you know, like you said, we have 3 big games left. It all starts today against Randolph College. And I think if we focus on taking those games one at a time and, you know, not getting ahead of ourselves, I think that's going to be the key for our team's success.
Conor, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you very much for having me.
With me now is Hannah Sackfield, senior women's soccer player from Louisville, Kentucky. Hannah, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Washington and Lee has had some great results on the field this season. Even with top 10 teams in the conference in Virginia Wesleyan and Lynchburg, you got a shot at the #2 seed in the ODAC tournament. How pleased have you been with the way W&L has played in the regular season?
Yeah, we've been doing really well this season. We've been winning the games, most of the games that we need to win, and we've just been putting teams away more than we have in the past. And we've been keeping our goals in mind, heading into every stretch of games we have, and we've just been getting the job done, so it's been great.
What makes the W&L soccer team different from any other team you've competed with?
I think most importantly to me is how close we are as a team. We just care about each other so much, and we're a really cohesive unit. We get along really well in season and out of season, on and off the field, so it's been really great to have that kind of a family. And I think another special thing about our team this season that's different from past seasons is that every single person, field player on our team, has scored a goal, tallied a goal for themselves. As of yesterday when we played Guilford and Taylor got her first collegiate goal. So I think that just goes to show that we don't have 1 or 2 players carrying the team. It's coming from every single person, and everyone's doing their job.
W&L typically runs a 4-3-3, meaning that you and the other wing players have a lot of freedom to move up and down the flanks. What makes that formation so effective?
We're really successful on the wings. We have players out there who can relieve the pressure from the middle of the field, and they're really good at taking players on and getting good service into the box. So we're pretty dangerous when it comes to the wing, and we try to utilize it as much as possible.
You won an ODAC title as a first year. I know another conference championship is one of the team's top objectives for this year. What does W&L need to do to make that happen?
I think, first of all, we just need to show up. We've been guilty this season of having lapses in the middle of halves or at the end of halves, and we really just need to string together a full 90 minutes of consistent effort and focus, and we need to want it more than the team who are playing. And another thing is we need every single person on the team to do their job. When we have 1 or 2 players who have an off touch one game, the whole team struggles. So we need everyone to kind of pull their weight, and we just need to show up and win.
Hannah, thanks for joining us. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It's time now for a look at the upcoming weekend. The men's and women's swimming teams have their first home meet of the season as Mary Washington visits on Friday evening. Meanwhile, volleyball travels to Roanoke for an ODAC matchup. On Saturday, the riding team participates in the Hollins Invitational. Women's swimming will host the ODAC relays, which start at noon. Men's soccer heads to Roanoke for a crucial conference match, and football looks to stay unbeaten in ODAC play with a trip to Bridgewater. Volleyball continues its road swing with another league match at Hollins, while field hockey takes on Virginia Wesleyan at the turf field, and women's soccer travels to Randolph-Macon. And on Sunday, field hockey steps out of ODAC play to meet 7th-ranked Christopher Newport. For W&L Sports Weekly, I'm Jeremy Franklin. Thanks for watching.